All right, good afternoon, folks. This is the Freedom to Draw Unsolved Mysteries. I'm your host, John Krupa. And we got a case today from 1989. It happened in central Pennsylvania, a little town called Sunbury, not too far from the farming town of Herndon, where my grandmother grew up on Hickory Corners. This case hits home with me. So this is the missing persons case of Barbara Miller from Sunbury. In 1989, she disappeared. There are still people investigating this to this day in Sunbury, and we're going to get into that. But if you have any information on this case or any other cases that we present to you, don't hesitate to call these places or leave them a message. I am just an artist. Do not send me messages. I cannot do anything with them. Strap yourself in, guys. In a couple of seconds, we're going into the world of the Freedom to Draw Unsolved Mysteries. Alright, guys, we're going to draw Barbara Miller. It's National Barbershop Day, so we got some barbershop music going on in the background, quartet style. Hey, so 33 years later, family still waits for answers into the disappearance of Barbara Miller. This happened in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. It's been 33 years since Barbara Miller went missing. And this is from June 30th, 2022. So it's actually probably 34 years now. She went missing 34 years ago. Family members are still searching for answers regarding the 30-year-old's disappearance. Miller was reported missing by her estranged ex-boyfriend on July 5th, 1989. The last time anyone saw her was at the wedding of her best friend Laura Wands in Mifflinburg on June 30th. Lynn Miller, a relative of Barbara Miller, said the family is still seeking answers. I am still trying to figure out why this isn't over yet, she said. I know there is an investigation still going on, but I, as well as the rest of the family, of our family, am hopeful. I want to stay positive, but I don't know that I can be. It's been long enough. We want the answers to all of this. So this is a crazy case. She was dating a cop by the last name of Egan, I believe, and he was involved in some shady deals a couple of years prior to her being involved with him, and he got out of jail. He was in jail for being like a shady policeman in Sunbury. And she got involved with him. And next thing you know, she disappears. And then there's some house in Milton where people have heard that cop would say, I'm going to visit my old lady being Barbara Miller, and they could never understand what he meant by that because she's been missing for 34 years, but they found some kind of cement casing the size of like a human, like 6 or 7 feet long and like 4 foot wide, and it had wood chipping fragments in it, and they thought this was weird because that's what he did. He trimmed trees, and why would he be chipping stuff into cement? So they got the cement slab, and that's all I know. They're still investigating this. The investigation into this case has come and gone over the past 3 decades. Sunbury police have declined comment, and the state attorney general's office does not confirm or deny any active investigations. A year after Miller went missing, Sunbury police first reported they believed Miller may have been murdered. Police started interviewing potential witnesses, including Mike Egan, a former Sunbury police detective, according to police. Egan told police at the time he had nothing to do with her disappearance. He said the last time he saw Barbara Miller was when she left with 2 men to go to a motorcycle event after returning home from the wedding. Egan recently declined an interview with the newspaper, but maintained he had nothing to do with Miller's disappearance. And he's a person of interest. I'm almost positive of that. In 2017, a lawsuit filed by Egan against several members of the media, including the Daily Item, a newspaper in Sunbury, Egan claimed he moved out of Miller's house 2 months prior to her disappearance because her friends didn't trust him because he was a former police officer. Egan claimed he dropped Miller off at 5 p.m. at a bar in Milton and watched her get into the vehicle with an unknown man, and what was the last time he saw her, according to the lawsuit, which was dismissed by Northumberland County President Judge Charles Saylor shortly after it was filed. This case has all the makings of like a Lifetime movie, but it's for real. It really happened. Only minor updates in this case occurred from 1990 till 2002, when Northumberland County Judge Charles Saylor pronounced Miller legally dead. That's when then Sunbury police officer Dag Stark began to investigate tips. For the next 3 years until 2005, Stark visited several locations in and around Sunbury, including a water-filled strip mine near Trevorton called the Canyon. After receiving tips, Miller's body may be there. Stark also visited 239 Penn Street, where Miller once lived, and the caves located outside of Sunbury along Route 147. And my grandmother lived in Herndon, a small town, and a farm in Hickory Corners. It's a small town not too far from Sunbury. So this case hits home for me. I would like to see it solved for the victims and her friend. Seems like her friend is taking it really hard. In 2009, Sunbury police received more information about the case. Former Sunbury Chief Steve Mazzio said he received information regarding a home along Front Street in Milton, a property owned by the late Northumberland County Judge Sam Rank at the time of Barbara Miller's disappearance. Mazzeo said he was told there wasn't enough evidence to search a home along Front Street in Milton. At the time of Barbara Miller's disappearance, Rank owned the home, which was lived in by Kathy Rittenbach, the sister of Egan. According to court documents, Rank died in 2012, and in 2016, former Sunbury Police Chief Tim Miller reopened the case. Chief Miller, unrelated to Barbara Miller, found the tip in the Sunbury Police report system saying the missing woman's body was possibly buried at 751 North Front Street in Milton, Pennsylvania. As we listen to barbershop music, it's National Barbershop Day. After finding numerous references to the address in police reports, Chief Miller requested a search warrant for that residence. The tip led him to believe Barbara Miller could have been buried in the basement or entombed in a wall inside the home. Miller and a team of contractors, police and Northumberland County Coroner Jim Kelly removed walls and several tons of soil from the home during a week-long dig. Additional searches in the Penn Street home and a pond near Lewisburg were also conducted during this window. Miller and Sergeant Travis Bremigan would not say what they discovered, if anything, and within months of the search, the State Attorney General's office had taken over the case. Since then, there have been no updates or even a confirmation the case is still being investigated. Barbara Miller's cousin, Susan Zimmerman, said she was feeling sad as the anniversary of her relative's disappearance approached. I miss her, and I have been very sad about all of it, Zimmerman said. I pray it soon will end so we can get some closure. Lynn Miller and Zimmerman said they have not given up on investigators. I'd like to think that they are still going on with this and things are moving forward, but I just don't know, Lynn Miller said. We are all still hopeful. I have faith things will happen, Zimmerman said. This report is from 2019. Barbara Miller, missing but not forgotten after 3 decades. Northumberland County Coroner James Kelly and other Barbara Miller investigation officials watch as a large slab of concrete is removed from the basement at 751 North Front Street in Milton in June 2017. Well, here's the slab. Looks like a tomb. Kind of like Han Solo was encased in carbonite in the Star Wars. So Sunbury, 30 years ago, Barbara Miller went missing. The cold case is one that still haunts her friends and family members. Barbara Miller was 30 years old when she was last seen on June 30th, 1989. That night she attended a friend's wedding in Mifflinburg and was never seen again. Her boyfriend, former Sunbury police officer Mike Egan, reported her missing 5 days later. According to the police, she was declared dead in 2002. Northumberland County President Judge Charles Saylor said, "But do you really know if she's dead?" That is a mystery here, guys. I have no evidence saying that she is dead. Several times over the past 3 decades, there was hope The case was breaking open in 2008. Bones were discovered during the construction of a home in Point Township. That same year, caves outside of Sunbury were searched along with shale pits outside of Shamokin. The case gained steam 2 years ago when a week-long dig at the Milton home garnered headlines, but it's been mostly silent since. So they must not have found anything. That's usually what that means. This is some barbershop music here, guys, on National Barbershop Day. Law enforcement personnel, including locals and those from the State Attorney General's office, are quiet about the current state of the case. We continue to hope and pray that something will give. Lynn Miller, a relative of Barb Miller, said, "We trust every law enforcement official and we can only hope this is still active. One way or another, we just want to be able to have closure after all these years." And I was listening to a town hall meeting they had out in the square of the little town of Sunbury, and it was just last year, and the police officers, to sum it up, long story short, was saying that they may be closer than the public thinks. So I don't think you'll hear the last of this case. The current investigation as of 2019 though the years of investigators, including Northumberland County Detective Deg Stark, have worked the case in an attempt to solve the 30-year mystery. The case most recent caught headlines in 2017 when then Sunbury Chief Tim Miller reopened the investigation. That summer, Miller led a dig in Milton where officials tore out the basement of a borough home after Miller said he received information Barbara Miller's remains may have been entombed in cement walls inside the home. For nearly a year, the case remained active. Tim Miller left the department last year, and information regarding the status of the case has been limited or non-existent since 2018. The case was turned over to the State Attorney General's office. Sunbury officer in charge, Brad Hare, confirmed that late last year, state agents took possession of Barbara Miller case files along with documents relating to the 1986 homicide of Ricky Wolf of Mifflinburg. That's most likely going to be tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but the next time I have a chance to make one of these guys. He will be the next unsolved mystery that we will draw. Continued attempts to get a comment about the status of the case have been denied by local law enforcement officials and state investigators who said they do not comment or whether they are investigating a case or they are not. Sunbury Corporal Bremigan was named the lead investigator by Hare when Tim Miller left the department in 2018. Bremigan referred all questions to the Attorney General's office when asked about the case last week. No comment, Birmingham said. Hare gave the same answer. Tim Miller did not comment. Barbara Miller's sister Susan Zimmerman of Milton said she trusts authorities, praised Tim Miller, and is okay with the silence. Former Chief Miller has done nothing but great things for our family, she said. I trust the entire process, and I just know in my heart that we will get the closure we all need. I am not bothered by not hearing any news on this, as it means I believe people are out there doing their jobs. So that's about it, guys. That does it for this episode of the Freedom to Draw Unsolved Mysteries, guys. This is Barbara Miller. If you have any information regarding this case, please contact these places right here, or the Sunbury Police Department. I do not have that number on hand right now, but that's it, true believers. We'll let the barbershop music take us out. Peace out, true believers.